Hello friends, welcome new subscribers. I'm Brian from Apex Detail. Today we're going to do an internal inspection on the Torq 22D 21mm long throw polisher. While we're in there, we're also going to replace the carbon brushes. We're going to clean out the housing for the drive gear and pack it with some fresh grease. Although not the cheapest 21mm long throw polisher, the Torq 22D is a more affordable option. There are much more expensive units out there on the market. I picked up a unit for a little over $220. That was during a sale over a year ago. If you keep an eye on sites that provide the unit, every once in a while, during the summertime on a weekend, they'll have a sale or a flash sale on the units, and you could find it for somewhere around that price. If not, the regular going price will be in between $280 and $320, depending on where you find it. The 22D has a 6-inch plate, such as this one right here. I also have a 5-inch plate, a little bit more power, but I have the 6-inch plate attached to it more often, just to cover more surface area. Alright, with the backing plate removed, that reveals the counterweight. 3 screws, Phillips head, 10mm holds that on. We can remove that, which will give us access to 4 screws underneath for the shroud. I will more likely crack these loose by hand, and that goes for any fastener on a polisher, and then grab the drill to release and remove them the rest of the way rather quickly. With the weight removed, that reveals the 4 star drive metric machine screws we need to remove next to get the shroud out of the way. These are 2.5mm. The same type of screw also runs down the length of the handle, holding the casing together, which protects the electronics and the functions for power and speed. This particular polisher has done 210 corrections this year. It's time for a tear down and a tune-up. I can't promise that a polisher, an economical polisher such as this, will last as long, or work as hard, or make its money back like this one here has. However, it's a viable option instead of maxing out a credit card for the more expensive polishers that have the same type of problem and sometimes less power. If you're a beginner and you have the luck of the draw where you get a unit like this that has been well put together, you maintain it. You get rid of the factory grease right off the bat, pack in some high quality tube grease. Anything you pick up from a local car parts store is better than the factory crap that they shove in there and send out. You do that, you keep track of the extra set of carbon brushes that come with just about every polisher out there. You're going to be fine. It's going to get you through your growing pains until you start getting some cash flow. And then sure, you can graduate or step up to the polisher you've had in mind, maybe before you started the business, or you found something you think might work better for you. Housing is just a typical cheap plastic with some supporting ribs on the inside to maintain structure. We remove the spindle gear to get access to the housing. That's where all the grease is packed in. And surprisingly, only the edges of the housing have grease that's kind of burnt, used up. I don't see major shavings. You want to inspect it for shavings or chips in the gear, or just a typical area where it may be worn down and may start to skip eventually. Here the main drive gear protrudes out into the housing, and this is where all the grease is packed. And as I mentioned before, only around the edges is the grease worn and needs to be replaced. 2 6mm hex drive screws hold the platypus handle in shape. That is a cheap plastic as well. Only reinforced by ribs in the inside, nothing special there. There will either be 2 spacers or 2 washers underneath those screws. They tend to stick to the plastic, be aware of that. Again, the plastic itself isn't reinforced. They just used ribs inside the handle itself for a little bit of structure reinforcement. The housing outside the main motor, about a 6.5-inch section, is reinforced plastic, however. 4 star drive screws hold the housing in place. The housing is attached to the main components of the electric motor, and we'll be able to slide that out shortly. Okay, I normally wouldn't be able to do this. I'm going to be very careful here, but I'm going to slide out the major components of the electric motor. The brushes are worn down that far. I don't have to remove the plastic cap on the end. Everything looks normal. This is where the carbon brushes make contact with the motor. Those are located in the handle. We're going to tear that down next. Speaking of the handle, the 22D is not digital. However, it does have an electronic display that's located on the handle along with the speed and the power buttons. The unit itself is soft start capable, and if you turn off the unit even at full speed, when you power it back up again, it will start at the first lowest speed. The unit's 900 watt motor does have a little bit of power to it. It's not as easy to stall out as some units coming up against a curve or a ridge. When it comes to its streamlined shape, it makes it easy to use. You can use it in both hands because it doesn't have a trigger. It just has switches and buttons for speed control. We're going to be careful as we crack this puppy open. There could be a wire attached to the side of the casing. The casing itself is not reinforced plastic, again, just reinforced by some ribs on the inside. Now, as the internal components are displayed and out in the open to see, we can see the circuit board, we can see the electronic controls, the electronic display, the wiring, the housing for the electric motor, and the inserts for the carbon brushes. This here is where the little carbon brush hangs out, and it's getting quite short. It's supposed to be flush with the top of its housing. This here is a double-sided, non-coated PCB. Contains the diodes and transistors and everything that makes this thing tick. The R stamped on the backside of the PCB could mean it's a Roseo by Shenzhen. That is a manufacturer in China. Not 100% sure, but they manufacture those type of boards. Anyway, while we're in here, we're going to replace the carbon brushes. And we're first going to remove the contact wire, pull back the spring, and it simply and effortlessly just slides out of its housing. A couple millimeters short from wear and tear. However, there it is. Just reverse the process to insert the new carbon brush. Attach the wire once again, and we are good to go. Okay, let's reinsert the electronic display, slap everything together, and get this thing going. We have the housing packed full of fresh grease as we put together the housing with the spindle gear. And I often get asked, what type of grease should I use? Well, I'm going to tell you, just go to a local auto parts store, grab any tube grease for automobiles, and it's going to be 10 times better than the crap that they jam in there from factory. Okay, from this point, we only have the shroud, the balance, the backing plate. And by the way, I have no washer mod for this. It's absolutely fine the way it is. You could definitely order one if you need one. And you can also order the 5-inch backing plate. It's around $9. so as we fire this thing back up and I do some load-free temperature tests, I can give you some final thoughts on the polisher. After approaching a year and a half and averaging 210 corrections a year, the unit is affordable. It's economical. It's a little bit heavy at over 5.5 pounds for the unit. When it comes to power out of the 900 watt motor, it's fine even coming up against curves and ridges. I have not had any issues with the electronic start button, the speed buttons, or the display. I've had no issues whatsoever with the internal components. Vibration is normal for a long throw polisher such as this. When it comes to temperatures, temperature is also normal. Gets a little bit warm under very hot conditions on a large vehicle, but I recommend the polisher for entry level or the beginner. So, Brian from Apex Detail, if you have any questions whatsoever, please don't hesitate. Catch you guys in the next video.